So we're going to jump into our viewer question. We have a viewer question that kind of matches tonight's episode. And it's going to be, how do you control your emotions when you're upset, sad, and angry? From Mark in Los Angeles, California. So that's a good one. I mean, how do you control your emotions when you're mad, sad, or angry? So for me, I'm still working on that every single day.
Yeah, no doubt.
Every single day I am. Because myself, like one of my pet peeves, and Eliza knows this, is being on time and not waiting to the last. Dude, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh, good.
I'm telling you.
I know.
Exactly. Being on time is one of my pet peeves. All right.
Like you're against being on time?
Oh no, I want to be on time. I like being on time. Exactly. I know. Well, we know whose fault is that. So but no, being on time is one of my pet peeves, as well as
Yeah, of course.
like I don't like rushing. I don't like hurrying up doing things. If I need to, but I like
This man's
all
the time.
I'm telling you, but I like to take my time. I want to make sure where I'm getting at. I'm not rushing. I'm not, because I feel like if I rush
time.
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I'm rushing, then I miss stuff. You know what I mean? My wife, on the other hand, not so much. And there's times where I'm late because of my fault or something going on with the baby. But and that's my pet peeve. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own thing. But I've had to learn to be patient, and I had to learn to just calm myself and go, okay, let me help her fix this issue. Let me help this. And I'm not perfect either. My wife's the same way when it comes to certain things. You know what I mean? Where she's like, hey, we need to fix this. And I'm like, okay, and we're going back and forth. You're constantly fixing issues and problems every day. I mean, and if no one tells me I'm perfect, please tell me what you're doing, because no one is. You know what I mean? But when that time comes where I'm getting upset or I'm getting angry, okay, there's been times where, I've blown. I've just kind of like just yelled or frustrated. And those times I did that, dude, I hated it. I was just like, whoa. This is not me. So I have to, and I feel like I've done a good job when I have had those feelings come. Take a breath, take a minute. Because one thing I learned, and even Liza told me, once you say those words, they're out there. You can't take them back.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Once you say whatever you're going to say out of anger or sadness or frustration, they're out there. And there's been many times where I go say it, and you know how it is. The minute you say it, you're like,
should have stopped right before then.
Yeah. And you're just like, dang it, because give it a few seconds, and that person that's hearing what you just said, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, I should have said that. And I've had to really make sure, okay, I want to say this, but I'm not going to say it. I want to act this way. I'm not going to act this way. I'm just going to calm down and just take a minute, take everything in. Okay. If I need to take a minute, go outside, go to the gym, whatever, that's where I let it go. But I've had to, like I said, I'm not perfect. I've had to learn my own lessons and how to adjust with that and going, okay, I don't want to do this again. Let me fix this. Let me fix this issue. Let me fix this problem when it came to this. Because like you said, action is everything. Your words are everything. And, that's a constant thing that you're always working on, because you just, it's a long day. You're tired. You're exhausted. And all of a sudden something says something that makes you angry or mad. You just want to release quick. And you hear about road rage all the time. The same thing. Guy cut me off. And I just took out my gun, just started firing rounds. I heard that the other day. I'm like, what in the world? Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? And it's like,
I'll be honest. Like, why do you care that much about those little things? I'm not, in general, that's
pride.
Pride. Is it pride?
Pride.
Ego and pride.
And
I get caught up in
okay, that makes sense.
I get caught up in that.
Yep.
You just take it personal.
Yep.
Okay. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care enough. And it's not that I don't care enough, because I do care about people and I care about things. But
I'll share my stories one day. I have had several road rage interactions.
Oh, wow.
I believe that. I don't know why.
I have pulled a gun on I got out of my car and I choke slammed a guy against the curb
Oh, good gosh.
on Upper Lake,
Anybody fit that too?
and while a cop drove up,
Oh, damn.
while Ariel was 8 months pregnant,
Oh, shit.
he
This
went,
dude got some anger.
so yeah, road rage has got the best of me. I take it personal.
But why?
So to answer your question, I don't know how to handle the situation.
Obviously.
I have
Captain Obvious over here. Come on now, tell me more. I'm
I
listening.
feel like I was blessed with
A big body?
I was blessed with a long fuse, right?
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, now we talking.
So it'll take a
Oh,
lot
man.
for me to get to that point.
Right.
So I can let so much go by the wayside and not care, right?
Okay.
So that is, I guess, how I can handle it because I'm just able to let so much go.
Right.
But the other end of that is when I get to that point where I can no longer let it go, then it's just up from there. There's no turning back at that point. So things
So have you done anything to like keep that in check? I mean, like, to kind of fix that issue.
I don't have that problem at home
Okay.
because it's my wife and my daughter's never done anything to get me. She's 3 years old.
Right.
My wife, of course, she can poke me, right?
All wives could do.
But I mean, I feel like it's good enough. Maybe slam a door. You proved your point, right? Like leave me alone. I'll leave you alone, or just my therapeutic approach to those situations is get in my truck, turn music on as loud as it'll go, and just ride around.
Take a minute.
For a couple hours, right? Then come back. Either she's asleep. We'll talk it out tonight. We'll talk it out tomorrow.
Right.
That's there. But outside of that, if I get to that point, like I don't know you nothing, but
Who's the viewer? What was his name?
Is it Mark in Los Angeles, California?
Mark, don't listen. Don't listen to these guys. They're a bunch of nuts. That's not how you handle situations.
and I don't even take testosterone.
So I mean, I'm okay. So I'm totally opposite because I mean, I don't. We don't like at home. We don't fight.
Yeah.
Well, we just don't fight. I mean, one, she doesn't poke. She doesn't do anything. If anything, she'll get quiet. So. I mean,
Oh, no.
so
You got a rare Latino.
no doubt. No, but I mean, even still though, I mean, because again, I think a lot. You know, when I'm, so if something happens, there's a lot going through my mind.
Right.
Okay, is this me? Am I the problem? Is she the problem? Is whatever the issue, whatever it is, and I go through these things really quick. Like when I'm thinking about it, it's like, nope, it's me.
Right.
Yeah, I'm bad. Oh, hold on, let me take that back. That's my fault. If it's her fault, it's not that big of a deal anyway, right? So it's working and talking and obviously trying to keep everything calm. I mean, that's mainly. A lot of things don't really freaking matter.
Yeah.
In the big scheme of things, right?
Right.
It's like if somebody said something, whatever, it's okay, whatever. I don't really care. Pride, I have my pride. I mean, there's obviously certain things that I'll allow happen, but I mean, for the most part, I don't freaking care. You can say what you want, think what you want. You can cut me off.
Yeah.
I'm in traffic all the freaking time. I have 20-something years. I've been driving, everywhere in Houston, always in traffic, seen it all. I don't care.
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy. I guess you want to go. Obviously, I mean, I've had people bump me, and it's just like, no, go ahead.
Right.
I mean, if anything, you might have scratched me. I had somebody hit me in the back, and I'm like, "Are you okay?"
You like those sort of things. That's why you don't get upset.
That's what I don't get upset. But I mean, it's just I mean, who freaking cares?
Yeah.
Okay, you scratched my paint, you did whatever, or obviously you cut me off and do whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, and again, like, so that's the anger part, as far as like, what else did he have? He had sad.
So when you're done, I'm going to share you with sadness. I just found some news today that you guys don't know about yet. So
Okay.
sad, anger, mad, and sad.
Okay. And then sad. So, okay. So,
I didn't even remember the sad part. I got caught.
Anger mad is the same thing.
Hey,
That's why I
same
double
thing.
dose sisters over here. You heard both of those in the same month. I mean, and said, you know, and the thing about it is how you want to look at it. Whatever the situation may be, right? I mean, if you focus on the sadness, what makes that better?
Yeah.
Whatever that situation is,
Right.
focusing on that does nothing.
Right.
Focus on a resolution. Focus on what's going to come. Because if we go back to my situation and what I was dealing with, if all I did was focus on being sad, or I don't know what that was, sad or miserable, whatever, I would have never got out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Yep.
if you want to remain in that headspace, then focus on being sad.
Exactly.
If you want to work past it, it's just like, okay, what do I need to do? What's the solution? What's going to make this better? You know, is it me? Is it you? Do I need to get out of this relationship or this situation? You just work on making, you know, whatever better. It sucks being sad, and it's expected. You know, you're gonna feel it, but don't focus on it.
Yep.
Try to move forward and keep going. That's
So,
good.
like what you just said, today Sarah had a ear check at Texas Children's Hospital. Amazing doctors and nurses there. We love them. Very thankful to be there. But, you know, she goes in the booth with mom. I'm outside. They put the headphones on her and they do the little hearing check. Now, I've done thousands of hearing checks, you know, in the military. And you push a button, can hear, all that. With kids, though, they have like a little picture on the thing. And it's like, point to the rainbow, point to the popcorn, you know, and Sarah's there. And I'm watching through the window. She's there. And then she starts lowering the decimals, you know, plays with them. So she gets done, walks away. She's like, I'm going to be right back. She walks away. She's gone for about 5-10 minutes. I've been to enough medical appointments with my daughter that when the doctor has to walk away, it's gone for a little bit, something's not good. So she comes back and she says, okay, Sarah's left ear hearing, amazing. She could hear great. Cool. Her right ear, moderate to severe hearing loss.
Oh wow.
And there might be a good chance she might have to have a hearing aid.
Okay.
And hearing that, you're just like,
That sucks.
kind of confuses you because you're just like, wait a minute, when she hears me though. You know what I mean? Because it did confuse me for a minute because I'm like, I could call her name from the house, Sarah, Sarah. She
Well,
comes,
she has one good ear.
she hears me, you know what I mean? And there's been many times where she's sitting on my lap and, you know, she's like, hey, baby, and I'm hearing it. And she's talking like, so, you know, I didn't think that maybe it was that bad. You know what I mean? We had always a weird feeling years ago after everything that's going through her, but we didn't think it was that bad. So
you thought she had some?
we thought we had a feeling she might have some sort of hearing loss because when she was born, this ear was a little kind of odd
Okay.
than this one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And, you know, it doesn't look like that now, but it just, and then every time we go in for hearing checks, they go, her tunnel, her right ear is a little bit smaller than her left. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Things like that. So, you know, we kind of knew, but we didn't realize how bad it was. This was the first hearing test that she was old enough to understand the commands and old enough to do a successful hearing test. So they tell us this, and we're like, okay, you know. So we went from that appointment to another appointment that's 30 minutes down the road to check her. She has ear tubes and stuff like that. So my wife, I put her beside her in the car. My wife goes and takes a walk for a minute. And I know what's going through her head. And I'm there playing with Sarah, trying to keep her happy. She has no idea what's going on. You know what I mean? And as a father, you're just like, you just heard some sad news that your 3-year-old might have to have hearing aid. Something that you're like, man, this girl's already been through enough, man. Like, come on, give her a break. You know what I mean? Like, give her a break. She's been through enough. But like you were talking about, how do you control sadness? Obviously, I can't show that with my daughter.
Right.
I can't be weeping and crying and showing that in front of her. And she's going to be like, Daddy, what's wrong? I can't do that to her. You know what I mean? I'm going to let my wife have a minute. You know what I mean? And I give her a hug. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Because in my head, I'm going, okay, throughout Sarah's journey in her life in the last 3 years, we've been hit with one bump after another bump after another bump. You know, when she was in the hospital, she would have, after heart surgery, her lung collapsed. Lung went back up. Then her right lung collapsed. Then her right lung. So it was like
Tough little girl.
Yeah,
one
no
after
doubt.
another, man. She's been through hell and back. So it's like you kind of not, you're not really prepared, but you're kind of like, okay, here's something else. Here's something else. How we're gonna get through this. How we're gonna get through this. You know what I mean? I as much as you want to just yell and scream and cry, for me, as much as I wanted to do that today, I go, okay, how are we gonna get through this? Okay. We have another hearing test the next few weeks. We're gonna see how she does. Obviously, if it's the same result that we ended up today, we know how to fix it. All right. Is it gonna bother her? Is it gonna hurt her? Yeah, it might take some time to adjust and get used to. But guess what? We're gonna get through it.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna get through it.
I'm not going to stop her.
It's not gonna stop her. Are you kidding me? That actually might increase her speech. It might increase so
That's
much
something
things
else.
that we've been
Right. Exactly.
struggling with.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, now, and so it's like in my head, I go, okay, am I going to get worked up as much as I wanted to? Yeah. I just kept going, okay, we have a problem. What's the solution?
There you go.
What's the solution? How can we fix this? Does it suck going through something hard again like this? Yeah, it does. But, and a lot of people don't like this, but I do it. I go, it can't be worse. In my head, I always think that. I'm like, it can't be worse. And some people don't like hearing that, and that's okay. But my mind goes to that
Me as well.
immediately. Right when something bad happens, I go, okay, it could be worse. And even people that are going through some worse times are like, well, I'm going through some worse times.
Somebody has it worse.
Someone has it worse.
Agree.
Someone has it worse. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying to talk
It doesn't
bad.
minimize the
Doesn't minimize the situation, but it's like, if they went through this, how can I go through it? If someone went through something worse than they went through and they succeeded or they went through it, how can I go through my struggle that I'm going through? And so, but I look at Sarah and I'm like, man, you're doing amazing. I just keep thinking about the positives of how she's doing and the positives of how she's grown in the last 3 years and what she does and all the fun things she says and does now. It just cracks me the heck up. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, we're going to get through it.
Sure.
And I think that's what happens when life hits me now, after going through what I just shared with you guys today. I go, okay, we have this issue, we have this problem. I'm going to get through this because I went through hell already once. I went through the darkest time in my life, not just with my ex-wife, but with my daughter, Sarah, being in the hospital, seeing your daughter in a little box with tubes and straps and cords everywhere. That's a dark place for a father.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And for a mother.
For sure.
And the mothers, my wife expressed it more. Me, I just kind of kept everything in, and it wasn't until I got home from the hospital, then that's when I kind of broke. But I'm going, okay, I went through several dark times in life. How did I get through it? Let me fix it. There's been times, guys, where I've had pennies in my bank account,
Pedro doesn't know.
Yeah. Pennies in my bank account, but how did I get through it? How can I eat? How can I do this? And this was years ago.
Yeah.
And I was able to get through it. You know what I mean? And you learn those lessons, not to have pennies in your bank account anymore. You go from there. But you learn from your past. And I think that's the biggest thing that I do is I learn from my past. I go, okay, I've been through this. Okay. Oh, got this, big brick that just hit me today. Okay, how can I get through this? How can I stay positive and get through this? You know what I mean? And that's my mindset.
Yeah.
A lot of people have different mindsets on that, but that's my mindset.
For sure.
But Mark from Los Angeles, hopefully we answered your question.
Sorry, dude.
I hope we did. If we didn't, we apologize, but I'm hoping we did. And
It's more of a vent than an answer.
Yeah, sorry, man.